going back and watching Marquette, what did you want to see better, and what can you improve off of that?
Yeah, just like collectively taking care of the basketball. I think that's probably what jumps out the most. You know, having the ball in the position to score at times and then coming away with nothing, or getting fouled and splitting free throws, or, you know, we had the ball at the rim. Not a lot, but we still had the ball in scoring positions where, you know, now we get fouled and you got to take the ball out. Now you get fouled on a shot, you split free throws, now you miss it. Or like 50-50 balls and loose balls and just rebounds and long rebounds, just we're going to jab at the basketball instead of going to get it. Like, we have to be able to get that. So when you sit there from a possession standpoint and, you know, they're a +9 in turnovers, you just put yourself in a bad spot. And then when, like, collectively, like, your guards don't shoot well, you know, from the perimeter, like now, so you haven't shot well, you haven't taken care of the basketball, and now you got to deal with them and their ability to break you down off the dribble and play like you're just, you know, you're just fighting an uphill battle. You know, you just have to play better and be more productive in those areas. But, you know, we got to clean some things up, and, you know, I think it's hard to have such a big emotional win and then be able to go on the road, but that's part of it. You know, that's part of competition. It's part of competing. Like, you got to get, you know, back on the horse and feel good about things and go in there and understand how you won that game. And now you turn right around after you have 3 turnovers and you have 15. You know, we just didn't set a good tone for the game, and some of that's on us, and some of that you have to give credit to Marquette.
Are you pretty committed to this first team at this point, or are you kind of
No, we'll mix some things up. Like, it's, you know, you're still trying to kind of find, you know, what a good mix is for certain guys, and you're trying to find production more than anything. And when you get opportunities and you get chances and you're not productive, like, you know, you got to be able to look, you know, in other directions. And sometimes it's a mix of guys, sometimes it's just straight personnel, and, you know, one guy's more productive than the other. But we got to rebound the basketball better. We got to take care of the ball better.
So if you shake things up, does that mean Trey going to 5? Or does that mean
we'll see. We'll see what we get to. But whether you start or you're not, like, we've had some guys like C.J. Cox finished a game, you know, for us. Miles Colvin's finished games for us. You know, Cam Heide has finished games for us, and while they're not starting. So, like, it, you know, but you want to get off to good starts. You want to have that mix. It does affect, when you start people, how you get into your rotations. You know, that is an effect. So it's not just about, you know, the first 4 minutes of each half. It's kind of how you sub from there. Some people hold those guys longer. I'll hold certain guys longer, and then I sub other guys quicker. And then just trying to, especially when you're dealing with like a Cam Jones or a Mark Sears, or just the talent of the players on both of those teams, you want to be able to bring people in and get them fresh. But you also don't want, you know, to have that step back, you know, where it's like, oh man, this like really lessened us, or, you know, I think we've been able to sub, and at times it's helped us. You know, they give us a spark, but then when you're a starter and you sub back in, you got to give us that spark too. And if you're not, and you're not productive and consistent, then you got to look at other avenues. Yeah, if you make 2 changes, like, you want 4 positives, right? You want 2 guys coming into the lineup and 2 guys going out of the lineup, but don't look at it that way. Look at it as like watching the game before you go in is different than starting the game, you know, from the very beginning. And people are better at one than the other. And, you know, some guys it doesn't matter, but it's still basketball, right?
You talked after the game about, you know, wanting Braden to come out and be more aggressive and set a tone, I think is the word you used, but also when teams are taking him away, other guys having to step up. When you rewatch the game, just any different perspective on that?
Yeah, just, you know, when they give you too much attention, like, he understands schematically how to attack certain things. So it's not like they did something that he's never seen before. Sometimes you're going to have to get that hockey assist. Sometimes you're going to have to get that ball out of your hands when they blitz you. And now you're living in like a 2-on-1, 3-on-2, 4-on-3 world, right? To where you have an advantage. Now the next guy's got to make a good decision. Sometimes he can keep that basketball depending on what they're doing, and then he's going to make that play. And when that's there, that's fine. That's what we want, right? But when people are more aggressive that way, I thought he did a good job in that second half. He made plays, but he also got the ball out of his hands. there. He just has to, to be more clean in what he's doing, and just kind of understand what they're doing, and just manipulate them and keep making the right plays.
I think that all his threes came off catch and shoot stuff. Can he be a weapon for you too when he has to give the ball up?
Right.
Being off
Yeah.
the ball player?
Well, he's got to get into action. He's got to, when he gives the basketball up, like when all great players, like if you can give it up and then look to attack when you get it back, things become a little bit more clear, depending on what actions you're getting into. It's like that's what he needs to be able to do. When we're not running sets and we're just running motion, he's got to be able to get into some actions and then be able to get it back and manipulate the defense that way.
How would you assess Trey's ability to diagnose things on the fly and make decisions and passes?
He's good. Like a couple of our problems when we got messed up, once a guy should have dove, another time their spacing stunk. So like when you get that basket on and he has it centered and it's a 3-on-2 or it's even a 2-on-1 at times on an overload, like now it's just a read. So he made a couple dump downs where we got our shot blocked once, we got fouled another time. He hit a couple guys on a spray out where we just missed open shots. Then a couple other times their spacing wasn't very good, and so now he doesn't have the outlets that he's supposed to. And then one time they should have dove and they didn't. So he's fine. Yeah, I thought he did some really good things there. He gets fouled to start the game. They don't call it in the post. He gets the ball a couple times one-on-one. They foul him. They're not in the bonus yet. So he had some things like taken away from him there. He gets called for a travel, and it was a really good call. It was a travel. He actually travels later in the game, and they don't call it. So things normally, balance itself out. So he just has to, complete those plays and keep being a threat for it. And we just got to keep, setting him up. And it helps because he's become a pretty good decision maker. And so now when you do that and you're going to take it out of Braden's hands and we can get it centered and he has the ball at 10 feet, now he's got that little intermediate game, but we can get a layup from that. Now we can get a spray out 3 from that. And so anytime they're doing that and we can keep putting him in those positions, now they got a second, kind of like think about like, should we do this? Because they keep getting the ball. We kept getting the ball where we wanted to. Now you got to consistently convert.